Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, we are going to go over 7.2 questions 7 through 11. Again, the first 6 are already covered in video examples, so you can refer to those in the lesson itself. Let's begin, shall we? Number 7. Ooh, that's a lot of work. We got 5 different equations. We want to know which one gives you the center, -1, 3, and the radius of 4. I'm not about to go complete in the square for 5 different equations. So we're going to do a messed up Olympics over here and graph all these. Looks like the Olympics is protesting, right? So I put them all in the graph. As you can see here, I got all of them equal to 0, just like the equations have. And we're going to find the one that just has the center at -1, 3 and a radius of 4. So we can hide these. I'm going to do one at a time. So let's find the center first. Center for this one. Oh, got an idea. First, let's do a coordinate. So if I do parentheses -1, 3, I want that coordinate to be the center. No way is that the center of that one. So we're going to move on from that. That's one. That's not. That's not. Okay, so I've narrowed it down to 2 circles that have that center. Now I want you to know why it has the center. Look at the numbers here. This is 2. They both have +2, and they both have -6 for the x and the y. Because you're going to cut those 2 in half, right? So 2 divided by 2 is 1, but then we're going to switch the sign, -1. And then -6 divided by 2 is -3, but we're going to switch it to +3. So we can get that from there. Now, as far as the radius goes, well, we got to find the radius that has 4. So let's count a little bit, shall we? From here, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I go one more out, that looks like a little bit over 5. So that's going to be your radius right there. R is equal to 4. So it's going to be the green one, which corresponds to the one that has -6 at the end. All right, so you can complete the square on that if you want. That process we'll be reviewing in some of the ones later on. So you can do that one graphically. There you go. All right, question number 8. Ooh, good thing we don't have 5 different circles anymore. Get rid of all those. Okay, so we're going to graph. I'm going to graph it again. X squared plus y squared plus 18x minus 10y equals 15. So ooh, that's a big circle. So see if we can identify the center, and we can kind of eyeball it here, but let's think about maybe just estimating it. All right, let's see. These are counting by 2s. -2, -4, -6, -8. It looks like -8's too far, but -10 is. So maybe -9. I don't know, 5. Let's try that. That looks pretty convincing. Now here's how you can check from the original graph or equation. I take this 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Flip the sign. -9. Take this -10. -10 divided by 2 is -5. Switch the sign, 5. So we can get that -9, 5 from there. So we're good on those ones. But now getting that radius, so we got to figure out how far it goes to the edge. So you can count out. We'll go up here. And notice my x's are both -9, but if I'm going from 5 to 16, how far up is that? What's 16 minus 5? That distance, well, it's going to be 11, right? So my radius should be 11 on that. 16 minus 5 is 11. Now we're going to do all this, making sure we can complete the square. So I'm going to go through that process with you guys, but that should be my answer. So let's review what we do. First thing is we rearrange. So we're going to put all the x's together. We're going to say x squared plus 18x. And then we're going to leave a spot afterward. Then we're going to say plus y squared. And we have a minus 10y. Leave a spot. And then we're going to say equals. Now we don't have to move a number over here. The 15 is already on the right side. So we just say equals 15. And let's do that in black. So we're going to complete the square. So that process is taking the number in front of x, dividing it by 2, and squaring that number. So 9 squared, 9 times 9, 81. Same thing with the 10. Take that 10, divide by 2, 5. 5 squared, 5 times 5 is 25. Now we're going to add both of those numbers to the right side. So I'm going to add 81. I'm going to add 25. And so that's the framework. So we rewrite it, we rearrange it, we complete the square, we add those numbers to both sides. Afterward, we are going to write your groups. So this is going to be parentheses x. Both of these signs are plus, so we're going to keep it plus. And the number in the parentheses, 18 divided by 2, 9 squared. 9 times 9, 9 squared is 81. 9 times 2 is 18. So we want to be able to get 81 and 18 by squaring and doubling it. Okay, over here, we got y. There's a minus, so minus 10 divided by 2, 5. 5 squared is 25. Double negative 5 is negative 10. And then finally, at the very end, we have 3 numbers we can combine. So 15 plus 81 plus 25. I'll just put that in your calculator. My mental math isn't going to allow me to even really care right now to do that. That's going to be 121. So there is your equation. Now, what do we do with all this newfound power? Well, first, in the standard form, your center is going to be the opposite of what's in the parentheses. So negative 9 and positive 5. And then your radius is going to be the square root of the number at the end. What number times itself is 121? That's going to be 11. So that's how you can get them by hand. Okay, number 9. Let's do it. Number 9 is more of the same. Now let's do the hand method first. And we can always put it in the graph. Okay, so by hand, we are going to do rearranging x squared plus 12x. Leave a space. Y squared, there is no other y, so it's just going to be y squared. And then we have this minus 13. We got to add that over here. So we're going to add that to both sides. Let me do it in blue. So we're going to add 13 to the 0, which is going to be 13. So we're going to say equals 13. Let's complete the square. Well, I have this number in front of x, so I can do 12 divided by 2, which is 6. 6 squared is 36. But I don't have a number to do that with y, so you don't have to do it with y. It's just going to be 36 there. So we're going to add that 36 over here. Let's go. So now we have parentheses x plus. These are both positive. And 12 divided by 2 is 6 squared. Y? Well, that's just going to stay y squared. We don't have to get fancy with that. And then what does it equal? 13 plus 36. 10 plus 36 is 46. Tack another 3 on, 49. There's your equation. So you're going to get negative 6 for your center, negative 6, and then when it doesn't have a number, it's 0. And then your radius is the square root of 49. And that's going to be 7. So negative 6, 0, and 7. And then feel free to graph that if you want to verify it. Now you can see right on the graph, that if you plugged in the coordinate -6, 0, that's going to be in the center. And if you did a little head count from, let's see, -6 to +1, that overall distance is +7, right? That distance from -6 to 1 is 7 units. So our radius is 7. All right, 2 more. Number 10. All right, let's go over number 10. Number 10's a lot like number 9. Let's do it. So let's see, x squared minus 16x. Here we go. And then we have y squared and plus 14y. So do a little space. And then we have a minus 31, which we are going to add to that 0. So 31 plus 0 is 31. So there's your starting point. We're going to complete the square by taking the 16, dividing by 2, and squaring it. And that number is going to go right there. 8 squared is 64. We're going to take that 14, divide by 2, and square it. 7 squared is 49. We add the 64 and the 49 to both sides. Combine those three numbers, 64, 49, 31 in your calculator. That's 144. Complete the square. We've already done that. I mean, factor. Get it into x and y in the parentheses. So this is a minus, it'll be x minus. This is a plus, y plus. The number in the parentheses, 16 divided by 2 is 8, and 14 divided by 2 is 7. So our center should be, think about it, positive 8, comma, negative 7, and your radius should be the square root of 144, which is 12. I did all that without graphing, which is obviously really the goal here is we want to teach you the skills to be able to do this by hand. So write that down and then I'll put it in the graph anyway. So you can see that. All right, I'm gonna clear these out. Let's verify we get the right graph. X squared plus y squared minus 16x plus 14y minus 31 equals 0. All right, let's see over here. Let's make this a little bit bigger since this is a big circle. So that coordinate 8, negative 7, comma, our parentheses 8, comma, negative 7. Looks like it's in the center. I'm down with that. All right, let's get the radius. So I'm gonna go from, let's see, 8, negative 7 all the way to 20. If I go straight over to 20, horizontally that is 8 plus 12 will get you 20. Or you could do vertically, this from negative 7 to 0 is 7, and then 0 to 5, 7 and 5 give you 12. You can go over here. If I go over to negative 4, that's 4 and 8, those give you 12. Or down there. If I go from negative 7, negative 19, 19 minus 7 is 12. Either way, you get a radius of 12 graphically. So that radius is going to be 12. Pretty cool, huh? I think it's pretty cool. All right, last question, number 11. Number 11. Here we go. All right, number 11, a circle has the following equation. Which of the following is the correct equation in standard form? You can kind of use your answer choices here, I suppose. There is the equation. Now, if I just plug in all those in there, one of them is going to overlap it. So I guess that's okay to do here. And then I'll show you a little trick by the sleight of hand that figures it out. And these are all very similar. So I got lucky. It looks like the first one is my answer choice, but I'll show you how to copy it. If you highlight that, Control C and V, if you just want to change that to minus and plus. So you can see, well, this is right 9 and down 5, so that's not going to work. Let's see, do the same thing, but 11. And then do the same thing, but change the sign. So let me hide each one of these. Here's the original graph in regular form. That's the overlapping graph. Well, you're not seeing it overlap, but that is the overlapping graph. And then that one's off. So is that, and so is that. So it's going to be A. Now, what can you do to figure that out by hand? Well, you can first start by saying, well, let's just complete the square. It's easier that way. So we do x squared plus 18x and y squared minus 10y, and then we got equals 15. Completing the square, you're going to do 18 divided by 2, 9. 9 squared, 81. 10 divided by 2, 5. 5 squared, 25. We're going to copy those over here. So 15 plus 81 plus 25. Combine those three numbers and you're going to get 121. Factor these two groups and you're going to get x plus 9 squared, 18 divided by 2, and y minus 5 squared. So you can get that by hand. And there you go, guys. That is 7.2, all the remaining problems.